All right, so last week we did number 1 and number 2. I've done 3 through 5 very quick here. Let me zoom in on them. I'm not going to do them with you because there is just nothing to it. But I'll zoom in on them so you can see what we're looking at here. So that is the set screw. There you have the handle. And there's the ball that goes on the end of the handle. The only thing that could be of any question is this 82-degree chamfer. And the way you create that, let me zoom in on that. We are told that it is an 82-degree chamfer and that the diameter on this end, the hole that is created by the chamfer, is 3/16 of an inch. So you make this hole, there it is, right? 3/16, you draw the circle 3/16 of an inch. And then you have the lines, come off of it, your construction lines, and that gives you your width in this view. So that's the width of this flat here. Same concept on this side. On the other side, that is the 1/4 inch circle, this one right here. And that one's pretty obvious because it has to match up with the 1/4 inch handle, and they sit flush to each other. But anyway, this chamfer might have been a little tricky for you to grasp there. So that's what that is. And then this angle, 82 degrees, is the total angle. So if you are going to create that angle, it would be XL, enter A, enter, and then half of that distance, which is 41. And then you would just click on the corner there. And now you've got your chamfer, right? So that's how that is done. First, you'll draw the circle, 3/16, project the lines across, construction lines, whatever, and where they intersect this circle, you will draw the angled line of 41 degrees, and you can just mirror it to the other side, or do a negative 41 degree construction line to get that. Okay, zoom out here. So that's all, again, pretty straightforward. The next thing to do is the clamp. And it is also very straightforward. I haven't finished putting the dimensions on mine, but I will post that. It was actually really easy. There's nothing tricky about it at all. Do remember to put the fillets on the corners, some corners, the bottom and the sides, but not the top. The top's been machined. It gives an interesting dimension call out for this little slot here as 332 by 1/16, and that's 332 wide by 1/16 deep here. So the depth of the slot is 1/16 and the width is 332. Okay, so moving on. Number 7, I am going to do number 7 with you. It says a 2 by 1 1/4 hex, I'm sorry, it's not a 2 by, it's a 1 1/4 inch hex cap screw that is the same threads we've been putting on everything. They are 1/2 inch threads, 13 national course. Okay, so they didn't even draw it out because it's just a standard part, but we do need to draw it out because we do need to show it in the assembly view. Okay, so in my object layer, first thing I'm going to do is the top view. I'm going to go to my polygon tool, which is up here next to the arc, and I'm just going to click randomly for a center point. Do enter in the value of 6 for the number of sides there. And then it's going to say, do you want inscribed or circumscribed? And you want it to be circumscribed, which means it's going to be on the outside of whatever number we type in, the dimension. The dimension I'm going to type in is 7/16. So that would be the radius. 7/16, enter. So that is an important thing because that gives us a total width across flats of 7/8 of an inch, which is what it's supposed to be. If you look it up, that's what it is. So if you were going to tighten this bolt up, you would grab a 7/8 wrench and it would fit this bolt head perfectly. The threads on it are 1/2 of an inch, but the head is 7/8. So that's what you would use. Again, to create that using AutoCAD's polygon tool, which is a nice way to make it very quickly, I'll do it one more time. You click on the tool, it prompts you to enter in the number of sides. And so let's say if I type 5 right now, you get a pentagon, right? But we want 6, so I got to type 6 for the number of sides. And then it says specify the center, click anywhere. And then here's the important one, circumscribed, choose circumscribed. And that allows you to specify the distance from the center to the middle edge of the flat, right? So if you went with inscribed, you would be specifying the distance from the center to the corners, which is not what we want in this situation. And again, that distance is 7/16 because it is 1/2 of 7/8. And that's how you do that, okay? So we've got our perfect bolt head. And I guess I'll put that on my dimension layer. Next thing you want to do is make a circle inside of this. And you just go from there to the edge, or you could have typed in 7/16. That is what your typical bolt looks like from the top view. You could do the hidden lines if you want. You know what they are. They're the same ones from over here. Or I could just copy those from over here. These guys. You have your, of course, your 1/2 inch. So that's the outside of the threads, and then the inside of the threads, that the root diameter. So remember the root diameter on this is 27/64. We've been using that number quite a bit. I entered that as the radius though. So one more time. D, enter 27/64. Okay, so that is the nut in the top view. That big nut that's going to, I don't know why I said that. That big bolt that's going to tighten the whole thing down. Okay, so what does this thing look like in the side view? Let's put some construction lines up here. I have these from my other object. You know what? I am going to make a new construction layer by just clicking on that one and saying new. You need a bunch of them for this project, huh? C-O-N, and it's part number 7. Okay. So now I'm going to turn off that one and have this one on. Okay. And then click all these construction lines. There's a lot of them. Boy, those are really close together. I can just well. That's this corner and the outside of that circle are practically the same. Wonder, wow. I just offset this one the 1/4 inch and it is almost on it, right on it. Okay, I'll zoom out a little bit and make a random vertical line here, or horizontal line, sorry. Just say right about there. And then start offsetting the thicknesses. So the thickness of this cap screw head is 3/8 of an inch, so I've offset that 0.375. And I'm going to then offset this line, the one I just created, the actual thread distance, which is 1 1/4. So enter 1.25. That's when you are sizing out the length of a screw or bolt, you're sizing out the portion that actually, has threads on it and can fit into the hole. You do not include the thickness of the bolt head with that overall dimension. Okay, so let's draw the outside of this guy with object lines. And I'm just going to do 1/2 of it and then mirror it. So that's the head, and then the bolt itself is here. And I'm going to zoom in on that to make sure I got the right one. Yep, the inside one. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. There is a line, it comes down here for this corner right there. So I'll click on this guy and go down there, and you can see they're almost in perfect alignment. That one should be just to the left of the first one. This is kind of silly. Okay. So what else we got to do here? We got a little issue that we got to take care of, and that is with this bevel on top. And the bevel goes to where the circle is. So you can see the circle coming around here. And that's how far in this 45-degree bevel is going to go to where it hits the edge of the circle. So and I've brought that down with this line here. So I could make this 45-degree line if I wanted from there. And there's a number of ways I could do that. A fun way might be to use the chamfer tool. Click on that. And it asks you for the distance, when you type D enter, of course. And then the distance I could give is from clicking. I'd say it's from there to there. I don't know what that value is, but that would be the distance. And then hit enter again, and then click both lines. And there you go. It has made a chamfer that was that size at 45 degrees. So I'll do that again. Hit the chamfer tool. And if you don't know the distance, well, first you have to type D enter to enter in the distance. And if you don't happen to know it, but it is something you could click on, then you can just click. So click from one point to another. And then you can read what it is. It's actually saying it's 0.0677. But if you just hit enter again, it puts that in its memory for the other leg, and then you can click both legs, and boom, you have your chamfer. Perfect. So the next thing we got to do is create the little arcs that go with this. And I feel like we've done this before on the previous project. And we know they don't go below this line, so I'm gonna copy this guy from here to here. And basically the arcs go like that. So on this one, let's do the front one. Um, let's, let me mirror this first before I do that. Mirror all this head part here, okay. And I'm gonna go to my arc layer and I have a start, I have an end, and let me do this. Whoa, no, no, I don't want help. I don't want help. Oh my God. Get out. I kind of do need help. I need to look up what kind of arc I want. I have the start point, I have the end point. So I want start, end, radius. Start, end, radius. That's the one I want right there. So start, end, radius. There we go. And I want it to basically be that high right there. Just flush with the top. Just like that. Perfect. Start, end, radius. And I'm going to do the same thing again here. So this one is going to look a little weird on this side. So one more time. Start, end, radius. It's not defaulting to that. Let me choose that again. Okay. Perfect. And that's going to go, it's going to be a little tighter, you know, because it has to, same concept, has to be able to go all the way up to the top, but not stick out beyond the edge. So just like that. I probably could have zoomed in a little better when I was doing that. And you can see what this does. These lines ought to be flush. It definitely shouldn't be sticking out beyond the edge. So you know, pull that in a little bit just to kind of fake it, just like that. Pull this one down. Again, this is just, you know, representational, not critical. Boy, it's snapping. It wants to be where it is. There we go. So that's pretty darn close. And then I'll just trim this piece off. Or just drag it to where I want it. Even better. How about that? That looks good. Okay then. And then this little guy in the center here can be pulled down to there. I'll zoom out. And now I will mirror this part to the other side. Perfect. So that, guys, is how you make a bolt head. And we'll finish up the rest of this part. Put that hidden line in place. We ought to chamfer the ends of this. because all bolts should be chamfered. Basically a 1/16 of an inch. Okay. So there you go. That is what your bolt looks like in the front and top view, and that's all you need to do. Of course, label its sizes. And then number 8, the 8th part is the washer. The washer, there's just nothing to it. That's just a circle that is a 1/2 inch in the inside and 1 inch on the outside. So there's that washer in the top view, and then the side view, a 1/16 of an inch thick. So something like this, 1/16 of an inch offset. And then the hole. So there you go. There's your washer, part number 8. So that's all of the parts, and I will post that picture